Hey everyone, welcome back. Well, today was a fun day with Bitcoin miners. I apologize if I sneeze or if I have to what is it called? Sniff my nose. For whatever reason, allergies are spiking on me today, especially in the last hour or so. That's why my eyes are glossy and everything else. But we were going to take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin miners. We'll also take a look at what's going on with Cipher. They purchased a site in Texas. Bitfarms takes ownership of a site in Pennsylvania that they talked about, released the information a while back. We'll take a look at that. And that's basically it. Not much else is going on here. So, excuse me. Let's get into the show. As always, you guys know the drill. Not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. If you enjoy this type of content, as always, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. Hit the little notification bell to get notified when I do these kind of videos. And let's get into the actual nitty-gritty of it all. So Bitcoin didn't hold up to what I thought was going to be our support here at 61,000 like we talked about last night. It fell below it. It fell pretty hard here. So we were down on Bitcoin 5.41% for whatever reason. It came pretty close to our next support line of 57,500. That we bounced off of it. We'll see where we go right now. The only thing that's kind of looking good on it is the 1 hour chart. If we look at that and the RSI, you can see here that the RSI is way below the 30 mark here. It's at right now like 19, 20, something like that. And even with price being where it's at right now, if we look at where the price was before back here, we can see that the RSI was actually higher. So I think this might be where we are maybe bottoming out here on Bitcoin here recently. And we could possibly go up higher from here to the like 68,000 mark, 70,000 mark, something like that if this continues. If we look at the 4 hour chart as well, and we are right now at an RSI of 25. Last time we were back here, price was actually lower over here, if you can see it. But the 1 hour chart shows a little bit more of a significant divergence from it on the RSI at least. The last time we were this low on the RSI was going back all the way. Oh gosh, going all the way back to here. This was back in August the 24th on the RSI here. We were actually still lower in price from where we are right now. Okay, or yeah. So it's looking pretty good here right now. We'll see how this transpires. I think we got NVIDIA providing who was it that provided that? Enrique Monkey said that NVIDIA is going to be releasing their earnings tomorrow, which might be a positive there. And that might swap or switch the market into a little bit of a green territory. We'll see how that happens. We also have IREN reporting tomorrow also. So that should be interesting to see what their numbers are. I'm still thinking that they might have a little bit of a positive EPS, maybe a slight positive EPS, which would be good. And then that might help the market here with the miners and Bitcoin a little bit as well. Okay. Looking at the network hash rate here really quick as well. Let's take a look at that. See where we are right now. Let's take a look at the 1 month numbers. Or sorry, that's the Bitcoin fees. There it is. So here's the 7-day average right now. We are at 642 exahash on that one. If we look at the 30-day average really quick, we can see that we are still at 630 exahash. So still pretty high. But I'm expecting it to go even further higher in the next couple of months as more and more miners get installed from all these guys that are supposed to get to 50 exahash, 30 exahash. There's a couple that are supposed to get to 30 exahash. And then one's supposed to get to 20 exahash. So there's still a lot of growth here happening in the next couple of months going forward. All right, so let's get into the stories that we do have here. The first one we're going to do is on Bitfarms. We'll go in alphabetical order. Bitfarms announces assumption of control of share in Pennsylvania site. Right, we talked about this a couple of weeks back when they were working on it. So let's see here. Down here, this site represents Bitfarms' first mega site in the U.S. with access of up to 120 megawatts. With this transaction, Bitfarms has closed on 110 megawatts, 30 of which are slated to come online by year-end 2024. Bitfarms also has signed a letter of intent for release to an additional 10 megawatt site, which will bring total capacity to 220 megawatts in 2025. Right, this is our path here to get to 35 exahash potentially. Okay. This site increases our U.S. presence nearly sevenfold and kickstarts our aggressive U.S. growth target or growth plans have been Gagnon. Bitfarms CEO, the Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland PJM grid is the largest wholesale electricity market in the U.S., offering abundant access to a competitively priced and flexible power that is attractive for Bitcoin mining, energy trading, and HPC/AI, among other uses. For Bitcoin mining specifically, the site is expected to support up to 8 exahash with the largest generation miners, and there are significant curtailment, demand response, and energy trading opportunities available to effectively hedge our energy costs and bring down the total cost of power. Our team has already ordered the necessary equipment, and our current expectations is to bring 30 megawatts of capacity online by the end of the year of 2024. So those are all good things for Bitfarms here, as they continue to grow in the United States, with them getting this site, also buying out Stronghold and all that. They are on a really good path for growth here coming in 2025 and beyond a little bit. So this is all good news here. Cipher Mining announces acquisition of new 300 megawatt data center site in West Texas. This, I believe, is a greenfield site. Let's see here. The site features 300 megawatts of front of the meter capacity, a newly constructed, fully energized high to mid voltage substation, and all necessary regulatory approvals and contracts as part of the transaction. Cipher will also acquire the 250 acres of land surrounding the substation and agreements necessary to participate in the ERCOT market. The company is completing due diligence on the site and expects to close the transaction in September, so a couple of days away from, well, I would say a couple of weeks possibly. So this is great news. And then we are thrilled to add another high-quality site to our growing portfolio, large-scale data center opportunities that are immediately available and have an existing high-quality substation and particularly rare and desirable in today's market. Cipher's unique abilities to build both HPC infrastructure and best-in-class Bitcoin mining operations give us multiple options to maximize the value of the site. With this acquisition and other recently announced purchases, Cipher's portfolio will grow to more than 2.5 gigawatts across 10 sites, and we are on a path to become one of the largest builders and operators of large-scale data centers in the world, said Tyler Page, Cipher CEO. So let's see here. This is kind of interesting. We are thrilled to add another high-quality site to our growing portfolio of large-scale data center opportunities that are, So it doesn't say anything about what they could grow to, but I believe this is a green site or a brown site, whatever you want to call it. They do have actually power there, which is good. Now they just need to build out, it seems like. And they are paying, let's see here, $67.5 million and a variable fee of $3 per megawatt hour for initial 5 year after the initiation of the site. So it looks like 3 cents per kilowatt. Okay, so this is great news for Cipher. It's nice to see that Cipher is continuing to expand their footprint and get even more megawatts, which is nice to see there. But my only concern here is that the growth is going to be not until like sometime in 2025, maybe towards the end of 2025 with this site as they build it out. And depending on what they build it out for, whether it's Bitcoin mining or HPC AI business, a lot of it might be towards the end of the bull run here. But it's still nice to see that they are growing. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree on that side of things. All right, so that is it. Pretty simple and pretty easy here. We don't have any more data on it. I do have some more metrics that we're going to take a look at tomorrow once IREN reports. And that is going to be based on, not Q&A, here we go. I wanted to do that one. That is going to be based on, what was it going to be based on? Current break-even estimates for the miners, based on the numbers that we have provided from them from their quarterly results. Okay, so I'm just waiting for IREN to do that. Once IREN does that, we'll do that either tomorrow or we'll do that on Thursday, I think, once they pull in the data for those. So we'll see what their current break-even points are based on the last quarterly results. All right, but that's it. Let's get into your guys' Q&A side of things, see if you guys have anything to say. Otherwise, we'll call it a night. These allergies are killing me tonight for whatever reason. I don't know why. It was super hot today where I'm located in Illinois. It was like 96, 97 degrees, and the heat index was like 108, 106. It was just crazy. And then you're walking outside, going inside to the cold building or cold house, and it's just a huge difference in temperature. So I don't know if that's the reason why I'm sneezing and having a runny nose right now. Could be, I don't know. Let me take a sip of water here really quick, and let's see what you guys have as far as questions are concerned. Let's see. Christian says, if NVIDIA misses, may mercy be given to us all. Yeah, if they miss, boy, that's going to be tough on a lot of the HPC miners that are in that play right now. I could see a pretty big pullback on those guys. We'll see what happens. Estaj says, looks like people dumping BTC to buy NVIDIA tomorrow. That could be the case also. Let's see. Is Cipher undervalued? Well, let's take a look at the numbers that I have for them. Let's see. Where's Cipher? There's Cipher. Okay, let's go to the screenshot. They are currently valued about 1.2 billion market cap as of today, with the stock price being at $3.74. I think they are, they're undervalued right now, in my opinion. oh, excuse me. Based on the last 3 quarters that we have data on in the current quarter that we're in, which is estimated, I have them between 472 and 708. They're at 374. They are undervalued right now, based on my numbers here. Okay. A big thing for them is a lot of their growth, like I said before, is going to be in 2025 and into 2026, which might be towards the end of the bull run here. If that's the case, we'll have to see how the stock does going forward. But they could always come out with good news, saying that they're going to be upping their hash rate growth to a much quicker timeline. If they do, then that's going to be really good for the stock, I believe. And then if they get an HPC-AI customer or something like that, then that would be also really good. Okay, but that's kind of what we're looking at right now with them. Let's go back to the questions here. Let's see. Christians asked, tell us more how the site helps Bitfarms. The Pennsylvania site, well, that helps them out by getting more access to megawatts, which then will help them grow more hash rate. And they have the optionality there at that site to also do HPC AI, I guess. So that's a possibility there. I'm giving a very, very low chance that that's going to be the case here. I'm saying maybe like 5 to 10% possibility of that happening, but you never know. Right now is just the way I'm seeing things. They would need to build out basically tier 3 data centers at that facility, and that's going to take time. So if that does happen, it's not going to be until like the end of 2025, sometime into 2026 potentially on it. But it's all good. Them increasing their megawatts, the amount of sites that they have, everything else, that's going to be good growth for them going forward. Let's see here. When miners peak at this cycle top, which 2 miners are the best to short? Those that are heavy BTC hodlers? Potentially. I think all of them you can possibly short. I mean, historically, if we get into a bear market where we have a retracement of Bitcoin going down 70, 80%, I mean, the miners even go down more. They're like down 90%, if not more. So, I mean, you could definitely short all of these guys here and come out like a champ. Let's see here. Seb CORZ, CoreWeave HPC option looks like a September 2nd expiry. Do you have a price prediction for CORZ? I do not. Well, I mean, CORZ I think should be valued much, much higher on where it's at right now. If we look at CORZ, let me pull that up really quick. We'll do a screenshot of it. So this is based on, let me make sure, yeah, this is just based on the current quarterly results and the current quarter that we're in. So the last 3 quarters, I have them at 1324 to 1986. This does not take into account any of the HPC-AI business that they have coming up in next year. And this is without the full dilution. If they dilute fully, the shares, right around 400 some odd million now, we're looking at maybe half that. So somewhere between, what's it going to be? $9 and something. But like I said, this does not take into the HPC business that they're going to be getting revenue from in 2025. So I think they should be higher than where they are even right now, based on the simple expectation that investors are forward looking as far as revenue is concerned, and their forward revenue forecasts are going to be much, much higher than where they are right now. So I would expect them to be much higher from here. Even if we get the dilution from the warrants being exercised, I would still think that they should be north of probably $20, if not higher than that, just on a conservative number here. Let's go back. Okay. Where did I miss here? You guys put in a bunch of questions here that I missed. Okay, talked about that. Let's see. What happened to Bitcoin? Was there an event? I'm not sure. I don't think there was an event. I think there just might be a lot of people that are long it, and some people are just shorting it. So we need to have that play out. Let's see. Okay. Does the Cipher news mean they are close to securing an HPC client? Not necessarily, right? There's nothing that would indicate it. If they bought a data center that's already ready to go, then maybe yes. This seems like a greenfield or brownfield site that has access to 300 megawatts of power, and they're buying the land for it, but they still have to build it out, I believe. I didn't see anything in the press release that would make me think that they have a site on there already that is ready for either Bitcoin mining or HPC at that point. Let's see. What price does Riot fall to when it's too cheap to ignore irrespective of operations, etc.? Gosh, Riot right now. I mean, Riot's at, where's it at? take a look at Riot. I mean, Riot's at 790. I mean, it is extremely cheap right now, in my opinion. I mean, it's fallen way below where I thought maybe it would fall. It's fallen below the retracement, or it's kind of keeping up with the retracement at the bottom end here. Irrespective of their operations, that's why I keep saying if their operations improve with uptime, the stock should be doing much, much better right now. Let's take a look at the numbers that we do have here for Riot really quick as well. Let's see here. Riot, I have them between 859 to 1288, and that's with poor performance in their uptime for the last several quarters, right? So we're looking at the last 3 quarters, current quarter that's estimated right now. I am between 859 to 1288. I think they're undervalued right now. And if they can improve their uptime, like I said before, that should generate much, much more revenue for them. And at that point, they are, I would see this being pretty well undervalued here. So I think even now, I think it's a good time to get into it. If not, if you can get it in at any lower price, I think that would be a good thing. I mean, they're valued at 2.3 billion still now, with 303 million shares outstanding. If we look at the market caps of the miners as of today, Riot's in the 4th spot here right now, with Mara, Cleanspark, and CORZ being ahead of them. But I mean, yeah, the big thing with them is just their operational uptime. If they can improve that and generate more revenue going forward, that should help the stock out, I would imagine. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's them trying to buy out Bitfarms that's having having negative pressure on the stock because of it. I don't know. Those are the only 2 things I can think of: uptime and Bitfarms acquisition that are in play right now. How much each one has impact on it? I'm guessing the uptime has more impact than the Bitfarms acquisition on it. Okay, let's go back here. Trying to read some of the questions here. Okay. It seems more and more that price action is completely detached from fundamentals for the miners. Thoughts on what may wake up the market to opportunity? We're getting slapped by the algorithms. Yeah, we see this. I've seen this before. I've seen it plenty of times before where the miners are decoupled from Bitcoin. Sometimes we have Bitcoin going up, miners going down. Sometimes we have Bitcoin going down, miners going up. It just doesn't make any sense here. I think we're still in that, what do I call this phase? We're in this kind of no man's land right now with Bitcoin. Once Bitcoin starts actually going in the upwards direction, the miners will wake up at that point and will follow suit as well. But we need probably Bitcoin to get above 68, 70,000, start reaching for new all-time highs. And at that point, the miners will follow suit. Let's see. Emik says, at this point, even if miners 5x, I might just make a 2x profit. What BS? Yeah, I mean, depending on when you bought in, it could very well be the case here. So that's why I keep saying I'm a strong proponent of dollar cost averaging in the miners because they are just so doggone volatile. If you can get them in if you can buy them at lower prices from where you bought them at, you're going to do much better going forward. It'd be the same thing if I just bought Cleanspark and Bitfarms at the beginning of 2022 in January, right? I was buying Cleanspark at $9. And I was buying Bitfarms like $5, something like that. I'd be underwater right now if I didn't dollar cost average in. So that's kind of the way I look at it. Would you short miners here? I would not. I mean, I think we're getting close to the bottom on these guys here with Bitcoin. I think with Bitcoin, it could be that next month might be a pretty good month, but I think October and November should be much, much better months as well. Let's see. Do you think Bitfarms will get to 35 exahash next year, plus 21 from Stronghold acquisition? If we added the potential exahash 35 plus, no. Okay, so I think looking at that differently. 21 exahash is what they're trying to get to this year. 35 exahash was with the purchase, I believe, with the sites that they are getting, and the improvements in some of the other sites and upgrades. So that gets us to about 35 exahash total there. We add on Stronghold on top of it, which now has 4 exahash. That gets us 39 exahash. But since those miners are older miners, they would probably swap those out for newer generation miners, which would add on top of it another 10 exahash. So take out the 4 exahash for the swap out. You're at 35. At 10 exahash, you're looking at like maybe 45 exahash at that point by the end of the year, potentially. Let's see, your hi Sam, I'm not from USA, but I read that Kamala winning the election is bad for Bitcoin and miners. Your thoughts? Thanks. I don't know. I mean, typically we've seen the Democrats be kind of against Bitcoin, and Bitcoin miners in general because of the amount of electricity that they use. But if you just look at historical, I wouldn't say maybe trends data. We've had Republicans in there. We've had Democrats in the space as well from the beginning of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has continued to go up. So even though it might stymie a little bit, I think, with Democrats being in there, in the long run, I think we're going to do just great. But you never know. Let's see. Guess on effect of earnings on little IREN. I think IREN is going to be positive, just a slight positive. They had 8 point something cents positive in EPS last earnings. I'm guessing the same is going to be the case for Q4, but they're reporting the fiscal year 2022. I think those might be down for them. But for the quarter results, I think they should be up, just slightly maybe. Let's see here. Oh gosh, I gotta sneeze. Oh golly. Sorry guys, I just gotta. Okay, it went away. Sometimes when I talk about sneezing, it goes away. Press area for IREN if BTC crosses 100,000. I think it's got to go at least 2 to 3x if Bitcoin does that from where it's at right now. Let's see. Given that BTC might drop with September volatility to 54 below, what miner would you pick upside of IREN, Mara, Cleanspark? All of them. I think if we go down to 54,000 in September, like you say we might, I would be picking up as many of these miners as I could possibly if I have the cash for it. What else we got here? Let's see. Enrique Monkey says, I think as long as people leverage BTC, it won't break out. Yeah, it depends on the amount that's being leveraged there. Eventually, I think it will break out regardless. Let's see. What is Cleanspark's growth target in terms of hash rate? They're supposed to get to 32 exahash this year, and they have miners on order to get to 55 exahash or something like that. They're 50 exahash right now. So they have quite a bit of growth here in 2025 as well. Let's see here. All miners are way too cheap. People are just done with the BS. Possibly, yeah. I mean, I agree with you. The miners are cheap right now. Let's see. Do you think IREN flips right in terms of hash rate before the end of the year? I mean, it's going to be close. They're both targeting, I think IREN's targeting 30 exahash and Riot's targeting now like 34, 35 with the purchase of Block. I think that's kind of where they're trying to get to. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be close. Let's see here. Hive in a situation, BTC price will not go above 60K, but miners hash rate doubles. What will be the effect of miner stock prices? They will be down. They will be down quite a bit if that continues. Eventually, we will have some miners that are maybe not public, but private miners that will not be mining at a profit at that point. If hash rate doubles from here, and Bitcoin stays at 60,000, it's going to take off quite a bit of hash rate at that point, I would think. See, hi Seb. Riot, DMG, and any are frustrating stocks. When will they wake up? Secondly, where can we see BTC in the last week of September of 2024? I'm thinking Bitcoin's going to be up a little bit in September, possibly. If we have a repeat of the previous, let's see, I think I have it up here someplace. I do. If we look at the previous historical data on Bitcoin in September, we've had 2 years where in September it was green, 2015, 2016. If we have a repeat of that, we should see Bitcoin being up maybe just a little bit here, a couple percentage points, 5, 6, 3%, whatever it might be in this September as well. If it doesn't, then we're going to be down. What is that going to be down on average? Roughly a couple percentage points, so it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, we're in August, we're already down 8% so far, and we got a couple more days to go. So I wouldn't be too worried about it if we do go down. I look at it as a buying opportunity if you're looking to dollar cost average into Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners potentially. Other than that, I'm not too worried. October is a big one here that has a lot of green months during the years in October. So that's kind of what I'm expecting there, is to have a really good October. Unless we have, yeah, based on probability, I'm guessing it's going to be a nice green month here just because we had only 2 red months here historically over the years. Okay. And I apologize for my sniffing. Just freaking allergies are killing me. Where was I at? Oh, Q&A. Sorry. Well, okay. Let's see. Hive IREN analyst targets are 1899, 18 or 1819. When do you see? Are analysts considering BTC price increasing or hash rate? I think analysts are looking at both, but they're also very, very conservative on their numbers, looking at them when they're looking out. Let's see, Riot IREN analyst targets are 18.9. Yeah. I think, well, let's take a look at IREN really quick. Where do I have them at right now? IREN, if we look at it, and between 992 and 1487. Analysts have them at 26 on the high end to 12 on the low end. That kind of coincides with what I have a little bit on the higher end side of things, but they're probably more forward looking on it. Riot, on the other hand, I have them at 859 to 1288. They're undervalued based on my numbers right now, and then analysts have them at 23 to $11. Kind of similar to what IREN is right now. And they're also probably more forward looking on top of it. So in the next year, I think they will be much higher than where they are right now, or where the analyst targets are also. All right, let's go back here. Okay. That's here. In yesterday's video, you compared dilution in shares per company. Is that a fair metric considering the difference in market cap and current shares? And I don't think it's not one that I use a lot to look at how the miners are performing. If we're getting growth and they're diluting, I'm okay with that, right? I'm more so concerned with companies that dilute the heck out of shareholders, that don't grow much, or they hodl everything. They don't sell any of it during the bear market or the bull market. That's why I'm more concerned with that. IREN, I think, came in like the one that diluted the most, but IREN's data is also the 1 quarter behind everybody because they haven't reported. They're reporting tomorrow. So we'll look at where IREN actually is come tomorrow. Well, maybe you just go quickly over the numbers for share dilution as well. So I'm not too worried about that as far as dilution is concerned. My biggest thing is with the miners is how are they growing? How are they operating? What is their uptime? Right? Those things are really important to me. Dilution is a part of this business, unfortunately, because we just don't have the Bitcoin block rewards and the fees sufficient enough to where the Bitcoin miners don't have to dilute all the time. But if they're looking to grow and they want to be in the top 5, they're going to have to dilute. Let's see. Wouldn't dollar value and dilution be a better metric? Possibly, but that's going to be a little bit tougher to figure out, I think. You'd have to use like the averages of where maybe Bitcoin's at or something like that. It's going to be tough. Let's see here. What are BitDeer's HPC capabilities? That I don't know. I know they're looking to get into it. They're looking to have some of their sites be used for that, but there's just not much information on that right now. Let's see here. Bitfarms 45 exahash. We at 225. Yeah, but that's not until sometime next year, possibly towards the end of the year. So that's also consideration there. Plus, we still have Riot on our backs at Bitfarms. So that's probably holding the stock down. Let's see here. Hey, Seb, just joined live. Hey, thank you so much. Question, do you have any idea why Bitcoin dropped so hard? I do not. I don't know what the heck's freaking out Bitcoin here. I haven't heard anything substantive as far as why. It just dropped. I mean, we had a nice gain on Friday, right? And then we just kind of wiped all that gains out and we're back down. Could be just too much leverage in Bitcoin for the bulls, maybe. Yeah, Christian Soto says leverage. Yeah. Let's see. Biden administration proposed 30% tax on electricity used by Bitcoin miners. This doesn't pass, but the Dems will bring it back again. Yeah, they keep trying this almost like every single year. It's not going to pass. It's singling out a single industry, and so that's anti-competitive. You can't do that. That's going to pass. If it passes, it's going to go to courts. Courts are going to probably, I'm hoping they're going to knock it down, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to go, yeah, I don't even think it's going to get that far. So much fear and uncertainty and doubt with Bitcoin. Yes, I am starting to doubt this market, hoping I am wrong. And that's kind of what they want you to think. They're trying to basically push you out of the market so they can buy at much lower prices. They're trying to veer you out of it, I guess, right? And this is usually the best time to buy. If a lot of people are fearful, you want to be greedy at this point. That's kind of the way I've, not always I would say, but in the last probably 4 or 5 years is kind of the way I've looked at it. in the market. When others are fearful, I want to be greedy. Let's see. Now that August is definitely going to end heavily in red, do you think there is a chance September ends in a green, or do we see lower prices again around 49,000 for Bitcoin? I think there's a slight chance we might be in the green. It's a slow chance, but I think so, based on historical data. We looked at that here in just a little bit ago on the monthly Bitcoin performance chart. Let's see. Do you have a chart showing which miners are the most undervalued to overvalued? The way we could look at that would be with the enterprise value metrics to market cap, or exahash, sorry. If we pull that up, where is it at? There it is. Okay, so this is as of today numbers. Let me get this numbers going the right way. Sort of sending. Okay, so here's where we're looking at right now. Based on exahash, right? There's quite a few different things that could also impact this, like HPC AI play. Some of these miners that are talking about it could get higher valuations, which is what we're seeing with TeraWolf right now. They're being way overvalued for the current exahash, along with future hash rate growth. And you got BitDigital, same thing, right? A huge overvaluation right now based on Bitcoin mining. But if you think about their HPC AI business, then maybe they're a little bit okay value. But we're looking at exahash here. So we may need to, I don't know how we're going to do this, but I may need to figure out a way to also add into this HPC AI possibilities going forward. Core, same thing. Core right now, or Marathon's kind of highly valued on current hash rate, but if you look at future hash rate, they're down here, so they're kind of also pretty low on it. Core right now is pretty, I wouldn't say pretty high. It's kind of, well, top 4 here as being overvalued a little bit for current and future, but they have a huge HPC AI contract as well. Hut 8, I think, is just way overvalued right now for their hash rate and even their future hash rate going forward. Cipher, Iris, Bitdeer, Cleanspark, I think, are also undervalued right now based on their future hash rate growth. If you look at them up here, right, future hash rate growth, they're being way undervalued. Iris, Cleanspark, Bitfarms, Cipher as well. You got Riot, hugely undervalued here right now. And Riot is mainly because of their operational uptime, I think, mostly of that. So that's kind of the way things are looking at right now. So these are the ones that I would be looking to get into, with the only exception being Hive. Hive still just wants to maintain their 1% network hash rate percentage. So they're not keen on being like the top 5 miner or top 3 miner. They're happy with where they are, 1% of the network hash rate, and then they're going to do okay with it. They're going to be, mostly cash flow positive, and they'll do their thing, but they're not looking to shatter any records anytime soon here with hash rate growth. Okay, so there's that. Let's go back here. Let's see. Is there a floor for Riot stock price? Do we see it breaching $6? I mean, let's take a look at the numbers here for Riot. I think we're looking at Riot right now. We are. I mean, it seems like this is the floor for it. I mean, we've kind of reached that. When did we reach that here? On, beginning of August here, the 5th. And we've been kind of slowly going up here, and then we've been coming back down. We went up, we came back down. So I think this might be the floor here on the stock, unless Bitcoin goes down to like 30,000 or something like that. At that point, everybody's going down regardless of it. If Bitcoin just stays above our previous, let's see, we're looking at the daily here, above our previous all-time low recently here, which was at like 47,000. Miners, I think, should do okay. But that's given that we have Bitcoin going up in like September a little bit, more so in October and November. If that doesn't happen, then we're in a different boat altogether, and we're probably swimming in the wrong direction regardless. Okay, let's see. Let's see. The year-to-date charts for Mawson and Bitfarms look crazily the same. Does this signify anything to you? Well, it signifies that the miners are being beaten down because of the halving event, which is historically what would happen. And I expected that kind of to happen, but we'll have to see what the last couple months are of the year. I expect it to be much better than what we've seen here in the last 8 to 9 months, possibly. Let's see. I said, what will be effect of interest rates, recession on BTC? Like I said, I don't think we're going to get a recession this year or next year, maybe into 2026 potentially. So with rates being cut, that should be risk on asset type of play, which was kind of what we saw last week when Fed Powell was speaking at wherever he was speaking. He indicated that they are going to be lowering interest rate, and that pumped Bitcoin up quite nicely. So I would expect that to continue as long as interest rates continue to go down. Let's see here. Do you think IREN crosses 60 this BTC cycle peak? Yes, I do think so. Let's see. In Stronghold presentation, Ben said 10.7 exahash with 142 megawatts and 22.9 exahash with, yes, that's if they can build out the additional megawatts and they can get that from the PJM market, because they can't get that with the power plants that they have there, which are peaker plants basically. So yeah, they do have potential, but I'm lowballing it a little bit because I don't want to get too ahead of myself with future potential growth there. If they can get that additional, what's it going to be? 165 megawatts added to those sites. That's going to be huge. It's going to be definitely more growth for them, but possibly not until like 2026, 2027 sometime time frame. Let's see. Based on the latest news, what's your price target for Cipher? Do you think Cipher is a top 3 miner or in place to be? I think they're a top 5 miner. I wouldn't put them in the top 3 just yet. Price targets for them, it will depend greatly on where their growth is or when their growth is, whether it's in beginning of 2025 or more towards the end of 2025. That I think might have a huge impact. And also, can they get a substantive HPC customer there as well? That's going to have a huge impact on it. Right now, a lot of their growth is not scheduled for sometime in 2025. So if they can grow that faster, that may have an impact on it. Same thing kind of like what we saw with IREN. If you recall IREN just a couple of months back, they said that they are going to be upping their timeline to get to 20 exahash right to Q3 and getting to 30 exahash by the end of Q4. What did the stock do? The stock took off like crazy, and then it came out that they were fully funded. The stock did great. So if they do those types of things, then I think the stock will do very, very well. Let's see. Ryan says, seems like Cipher's new West Texas facility is also in on-call electrical grid service area, same as Riot. I think Cipher also shuts down the same way Riot does when there are winter storms. And Urquhart asks, Cipher, Tyler Page put out a tweet. He said that if they're doing it for HPC AI, they're going to be running 100%. If they're going to be doing it for Bitcoin mining, their uptime should be 95% on average for the year. So they're kind of saying the same thing that Jason has been saying, that they're trying to get to is, 3 to 5% curtailment during the year on average, giving basically 95 to 97% uptime at those facilities, which would be great if they can do that. Hey, Special, when is BTC going to 70,000 plus? October. I'm guessing October, November timeframe. Let's see here. I don't mind Bitcoin miners selling partial of their BTC to reduce further dilution. I think most miners shoot HODL 50 and sell 50. I agree with you. I think there's the interesting part of it, I've talked about this before, is that Fred from Mara, they did a study internally where they came up with the same thing, that it's possibly more beneficial to sell 50% and HODL 50%. Cleanspark, I think, has done a pretty good job over the years here, right? From where they started, they were selling into the bull run. They were selling into the bear market as well. They were able to grow tremendously because of that. I think there's a benefit to doing that. But I also see value of possibly hodling before the halving event and a little bit after the halving event, and then selling. If you sell, I don't mean you have to sell everything, but a majority of it, maybe like 50% or more of the hodl into the bull run, and use that to grow in the bear market again, I think that would be great. We'll see if Cleanspark does that again. Let's see. Space Credit says, BTC drops because August, September, most volatile. Tomorrow will be red. It could be red. It could be up. We just don't know. And we have to look at the longer time frame, right? The next 9 to possibly 13, 14 months out, where Bitcoin possibly could be. In the meantime, like I've said before, it's going to be a volatile ride going up and down on Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners. Let's see. I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry. I think we should keep our cash for September because dips are coming, guys. I hope I can buy as much as possible Bitfarms Cleanspark in September. Seb, I just want to say big thanks. Your infos are so helpful. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you can dollar cost average into these guys or start new positions in whether it's right now or in September, if Bitcoin goes down in September, yeah, that's going to be great. Let's see here. Did you build out the studio or transform an existing room in your house? Studio looks great. Thank you. It's actually a concrete wall back there that I painted black. Put up some paintings, some lights. I'm actually in the corner of my basement. Basement's not finished yet. I'm hopeful that maybe next year or the following year I can actually finish out the basement and do a proper studio in here. So it looks a little bit like a dungeon. I don't know what you guys think, but thank you. I mean, it's worked out. It's definitely been a transformation over the last 3 years that I've been doing this. I've been trying to improve it over time. I'd like to get like behind me here, have just a straight wall with some nice cabinets, shelves in the back, white potentially. I like farmhouse style. And have a big area for a projector. That's like one of those short throw projectors, and projecting stuff in the background while I'm doing the videos. I think that might be kind of cool, but we'll see. I got plans. We'll see how they come to fruition, though. Let's see. Hi, Steph. Any take on Soluna? So I covered Soluna back in 2021 into 2022. They got into financial trouble. They got a new CEO there. I think they're doing much, much better from where they were, which is nice to see. The only thing that I have a concern with is all the partnerships that they're doing there. But I understand why they're doing it, because while they're a small miner or small company, they need to partner with people to help them out to grow, whether it's their HPC or Bitcoin mining or hosting, whatever it might be. But I don't have any thoughts as far as where there should be possibly price projections for them. Greens from Europe, Macedonia. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in. Let's see. Are you buying any miners? I wish I could. I love these dips. I told you guys earlier this week that I had to pay my property taxes. And now we had, if you guys recall, I had like a tornado go through our subdivision here. So I got to redo the roof, which I have a $5,000 deductible on my insurance, meaning I need to probably throw in another $5,000, or maybe I'll be able to only have to pay half of that, but I'd like to buy more if I could. Let's see, your When Dog reveal. Family's back, so she's not down here with me in the basement anymore when I do videos, when the family was in Europe and I was doing the remodeling of the kitchen. I'll try to grab her one of these days. I'll show you guys a picture of her. I'll take a picture of her. Let's see. Mark says dip keeps dipping. Yep. Historically, October is the better month for Bitcoin. This year is strange. Yeah, I mean, this year is strange. We've had a new all-time high before the halving event, and typically October is a really good month for us. So we'll see if that sustains. If you look at other cycles, we are exactly where we need to be. I mean, it's a different cycle. Like I said, we had a new all-time high. I didn't expect that to happen, but otherwise, after the halving event, we're kind of where I thought we would be. Let's see. Riot isn't on Bitfarms back. Ben cleared up that they don't have a current offer to buy the company. They're hoping to sway the board. No way Bitfarms board is going to be up for that. Far better company. Yeah, that is all true. The only thing is that Riot still owns like almost 19% of the company here. So that's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say Riot is on Bitfarms back a little bit. But we'll see what happens in October when the shareholder meeting happens, and if they were able to place any of their own Riot, that is, board members on the board of Bitfarms. Enrique says, I think the pump will happen at the end of the year. I don't care when it happens, as long as it happens. Let's see. What do you think will be better for BTC, a 25 basis cut or a 50 cut? I think a 25 would be like, okay, the Fed is not worried too much about the economy, recession, or anything like that. They're like, jobs are coming down. Let's cut it just a little bit, see where things go. If they cut 50 basis points, I think they might spook the market a little bit, thinking that things are worse than they think they are, maybe. That's the way I kind of would look at it. Do you think the end of the year sell-off will happen? Companies like to do that to secure profits. That's one of the things that like Crypto Miami has been pointing out in Spaces, if you've ever listened to him. Now, he might be right on that. The companies that have institutions, things like that, or hedge funds or whatever, they might be selling. So we might see a sell-off at the end of December sometime, something to keep an eye on. Do you see Stronghold price being completely correlated with Bitfarms price until I think so, yeah. I think it's going to be pretty closely correlated with that going forward. I don't expect it to go up too much, considering that there's a lock-in basically on the amount of shares you're going to get, regardless of where Bitfarms price is at. So I would think so, but we'll see. Let's see here. Hey, Sebastian, last video you mentioned Digital fair valuation around 5 to 8 for 92 million annualized HPC revenue. Where do you Digital with a new potential of 700 million contract. I mean, that's if they get it, right? Right now they have a contract for only, gosh, my nose is running like crazy. Sorry about that. Right now they're only getting about, what, 2 million out of the contract right now. So if they are able to upsize that to the full 700 million, that would be huge. But that's still not going to be over per year. That's going to be over several years, I believe. But that still would be a huge potential for them going forward. So we'll have to see when that does happen. Let's see here. Who besides Cipher do you feel are the top 5 miners? Okay, so I would say Cleanspark, IREN, Bitfarms in there. You would, let's see, I called Cleanspark, Bitfarms, IREN, Core. I think Core is going to be like half HPC, half mining, but they're still really good. Marathon as well. And then, I mean, it's going to be a battle between those guys and then like Riot, Cipher, possibly Wolf as well, nipping at the heels of these guys, trying to beat them out potentially. So it's going to be interesting. Where do you see Bitfarms price with 45 exahash and BTC around 120? Thanks and good night. Oh gosh, at that point, I think we should be probably like closer to $20. If they get to 45 exahash and Bitcoin's around there, that's kind of where I would think things would end up at, depending on the timing of it. Excuse me. Also, it also depends if we get 120,000, they get to 45,000 or 45 exahash by like the first half of 2025. That would be huge. So I think that's kind of where I would see it, between $15 and $20 probably. Let's see. Have you heard of DeFi technology stocks? Supposed to be the only DeFi play in the stock market for cryptos. They're making massive profits and charts look parabolic. I've heard of them, I think, but I don't really cover them. See. So I think you said after this cycle, are you still going to be in miners or start investing in other companies? I'll still be in miners depending where we go. If we have another bear cycle, I would love to repeat this process again. But after this cycle, when I take profits, I will be looking to diversify a little bit more, whether it's through maybe into rental properties or something like that. I need to bring in some other sources of revenue as well. Maybe get into some other mining stocks, maybe pick up some more, not mining stocks, pick up some other stocks as well. We'll have to look at it afterwards. I mean, we're still probably a year out plus before we start really thinking about it at that point. Let's see. Bevneet says, I'm still confident in Bitcoin at 90 to 100,000 by December. What do you think? It could be. I mean, if we get the nice moves that we've seen before in Bitcoin in October, November, let's take a look at it here. Historically, I mean, you can see here, October has been a really, really good month. I mean, 47%, you got 10%, 27, 39, 28, 33, 60%. Let's say on average, we get about 25 to 30% increase on Bitcoin in October from where we are right now. Let's just say we are at 60,000. 30% of that would be, 33 would be what, 20,000? So yeah, we're looking at 80. And then November as well has been historically pretty good for it. So yeah, we could be close to that. I think anywhere between probably 80 and 100,000 would be a fair number. Oh gosh, sorry guys, I feel like I gotta sneeze again. Allergies. Why do we get them? That is just, I wonder if we could just rip something out of our noses that wouldn't cause these allergies. They're so annoying. Okay, let's get back to Q&A here. Okay. Sebastian the Goat, thank you for all the information and knowledge. Don't forget to hit the like button. Jose, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Let's see. Sour Melon Gaming says, I don't understand why Jason is trying so hard to buy Bitfarms. They aren't going to sell. He needs to get over it. Riot selling their own shares to buy Bitfarms shares is why Riot will continue to fall. Yeah, you might be right there. I mean, yeah. For Riot, it was basically a win-win situation, the way I looked at it. If they buy them out, it's a win. If they hold on to the shares at a low price and Bitfarms appreciates quite nicely, at least like a 3 to 5x, if not more, they're going to do great on the shares on that point. So it's a win-win for them overall. But eventually, I think they will possibly back out. And that might not happen until October sometime. If they're successful getting the board members that they want on there, maybe they'll continue to pursue this buyout. And if not, then at that point, I think they will kind of back away. But we'll see. Are you more bullish in Cleanspark versus Mara? Historically, I've been more bullish in Cleanspark, as you guys know, and that's mainly because of their operations, uptime, growth, things like that. That's why I've done very, very well with Cleanspark stock here recently. So I'm still more bullish on Cleanspark than Mara because of that. I would need to see Mara have much better uptime going forward, and then just a continuation of that as well. You know, it's not enough that they have 1 or 2 months that are great, and then 5 or 6 months that are bad. We need to see a continuation, I guess you could say, just continued good uptime. Are Bitfarms and IREN your top miner, top buys right now? Right now, yes. Bitfarms, I think, is way undervalued. So is IREN right now from where they really should be. So I've been buying those. Last time I bought was probably 3 weeks ago, as you guys know. I'd like to buy more, but I'm out of cash. Let's see here. Jason needs the tech that Bitfarms has under lock and patent concerning immersion cooling. I've been saying this the whole time, and it adds up when you do the research. Yes, Bitfarms does have patents there. I don't know if Bitfarms has. I think Bitfarms and Ben Gagnon has the patents there on some of the immersion. But you could just, I mean, you don't need to buy them out. You could probably just pay for the patents, right? Like other companies are doing. Apple's paying patents for Qualcomm and others as well for radio signals and things like that. So, I mean, you could definitely do it. Wow, I mean, that's really funny. You can do it that way. I don't think you have to buy them out. But yeah, that's an added benefit if they do buy them out. Mark says 6,000 IREN shares ready to rock or get rocked tomorrow. Nice. Are you selling miners in December? No, I don't plan to. I think if we get close to 100,000, maybe I'll take a little bit off the table, but like a small percentage, like 3 to 5%, nothing major. Let's see. What is your price prediction for Bitfarms and Soluna, assuming BTC at 90,000? Well, at that point, I mean, Bitfarms should be only up maybe like 2x from where it's at right now. I think it should be 2x from where it is at anyways. Soluna, I don't know. I don't track them anymore. Let's see. This is my favorite. This is my first cycle. First time investor. I own Bitfarms, Cleanspark, Mara. DCing into them so far. Looking forward for Bitfarms and success that is in front of them. Long term only here. HODL. Nice. Price of Bitfarms at 45 exahash. BTC at 80,000. I mean, it's probably going to be where it's at right now. Maybe up a little bit here because at that point, like I said, the hash rate is going to be up much higher for all these miners, and they're going to be generating less revenue as it is, anyways. Angie says, thank you for everything, Seb. Get some rest. I get allergies too. I read about a new procedure, nasal cryotherapy. It freezes the nerve that causes the... interesting. I'll have to look into that. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you so much for coming in. All right, I think I'm all caught up with you guys on everything here. So we're going to call it a day. Tomorrow should be an interesting day. And Ryan, yes, hit the like button, folks. Greatly appreciate it. Tomorrow should be a fun day. Tomorrow we'll have IREN reporting their quarterly results, actually end of year results. We'll see how maybe even NVIDIA does, if NVIDIA spooks the market with bad data, or if they actually have a good data and the market takes off. So we'll see what happens there. All right. I wish you guys all a great night, a great week ahead, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye.